Welcome to our series on the outside and inside of leadership, where we focus on the outside skills as well as the inside of life transformation needed for enduring and sustainable Christian leadership. Today, we focus on leadership insight, that a leader is as strong as the strength of his or her team. I was studying in the US for a year, and I had the privilege to visit different fast-growing churches, and I met a number of strong, vibrant churches and had meetings with their senior pastors. Of all that struck me, one that really stood out was a church of the Nazarene pastor. The church had 2,000 members and growing, and the senior pastor was a mild, gentle, grandfatherly figure. And this was really different from what I would expect, from a strong leader that could lead a 2,000 strong church. But as I met his team, I realized that the strength was in the team. There was an executive pastor, a children's pastor, a young adult pastor. All of them were vibrant, strong, and energetic personalities. As I looked at this grandfatherly senior pastor who had led them for a long time, I revised my assessment of him. He may be mild and gentle, but he had the strength of will in order to gather and lead such a strong team. It takes strength to dare to invite people stronger and more gifted than you into your team. It takes strength to manage and lead them on a regular basis. But when one does that successfully, the ministry can soar because of the strength of the team as mighty catalysts of positive change in the church. What does this inner strength look like? It is not necessarily passion or a charismatic or forceful personality. This strength of will is a type of security and willingness to action that is observable. It takes strength of will to recruit people of stronger personalities. I am reminded of the example of David's key warriors in his team. These are the name of David's mighty men. Josheb-Bahashebeth, a Tychamonite, was chief of the three. He raised his spear against 800 men whom he killed in one encounter. Next to him was Eleazar, son of Dodai, the Ahohite. As the men of Israel retreated, he stood his ground and struck down the Philistines till his hand grew tired and froze to the sword. The Lord brought about a great victory that day. Next to him was Shammah, son of Agi the Hararite. Shammah took his stand in the middle of the field and he defended it and struck the Philistines down, and the Lord brought about a great victory. David was willing to recruit people with strong gifts and personalities. Warriors who were rough, fierce go-getters. They may even have been better warriors than David himself. David had to be secure enough to find them and recruit them. Why did David do that? I believe this passage from 2 Samuel is in the Bible to tell us one thing. David could not have fulfilled God's purposes to rise to be king and unite Israel without the help of this core team. They played a part in fulfilling God's plan. What is the vision or plan God has put on your heart? It may be that it cannot be fully realized until you have called and recruited the right team. And if your vision is big and difficult to achieve, it probably will need gifts and perhaps personalities even stronger than yours. Do you have the courage and strength of will to find these people? Secondly, it takes strength of will to understand and redirect intense emotions and behavior. With strong people means strong behaviors, emotions, and personalities. You know what strong personalities are like: loud, brash, blunt, sometimes insensitive, and quick to act before they think. They are difficult to handle and can be intimidating. Look at what the apostles were like. Barnabas wanted to take John, also called Mark, with them, but Paul did not think it was wise to take him because he had deserted them in Pamphylia and had not continued with them in the work. They had such a sharp disagreement that they parted company. And Barnabas took Mark and sailed for Cyprus, but Paul chose Silas and left, commended by the brothers to the grace of the Lord. So Barnabas had an encouraging spirit that led him to seek out Paul. Paul had been so zealous as to persecute Christians at the onset. No one except Barnabas dared seek him out even after Paul's conversion. But Paul was a handful to deal with. His strong personality led to this intense argument. It takes strength of will in order to understand that strong people behave intensely and to work with it. redirect their emotions towards the positive. When all the intensity goes to the right direction, breakthroughs can happen for God's kingdom. But in the meantime, it takes strength to bear with them and keep them in the right direction. And regarding that, my final point is that it takes strength of will to patiently wait for the flattening of the learning curve. When people with strong personalities are learning your style and coping with the rules of the team, there is a learning curve where there may be fireworks and cool-off periods needed. It requires patience to coach and guide until they get past the learning curve of your team and learn to flow with the team. It takes strength to be patient, forbearing to guide them past that learning curve. And the times that you feel like losing your temper, firing the person, or throwing the towel requires the strength of holding yourself back. And the Bible calls this meekness. Jesus set the example for us. Although he was in the form of God and equal with God, he did not take advantage of this equality. Instead, he emptied himself by taking on the form of a servant, by becoming like other humans, by having a human appearance. He humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death on the cross. So Jesus held back his privileges and power to rein it in to fulfill God's purposes. It takes strength of will to rein in frustration and pain, to patiently work and bring strong individuals together until they become a team. Who is wise and understanding among you? Let him show by good conduct that his works are done in the meekness of wisdom. May you have the strength of will to pour that strength into building your team. That will be the true measure of your strength. The strength of your team is the measure of your leadership strength. And as you do so, God will bless your leadership and your church life.